What's going on, geeks and gamers? Captain Alex here, and you're watching the very first episode of NINTENDIY, a brand new show in which I teach you how to make your very own super cool Nintendo-themed do-it-yourself projects right at home. Now, for this very special first episode, I'm going to be teaching you all something I know a lot of you have been dying to see for a really long time, and that is how to make your very own custom Amiibo cards. Now, in part one of this two-part episode, I'm going to take you through the entire process of how I design these cards in Photoshop from start to finish. Now, if you don't have Photoshop and you want to follow along in a different program, none of these skills are super advanced, so you should be able to make them on most basic photo editors out there. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Let's go!
Alright guys, so for this tutorial I'm going to be using Photoshop CS5. It's an older version of Photoshop, but if you have the newer ones it'll work just the same. And all of these skills are pretty basic, so if you have one of the numerous photo editing softwares that are available readily for free, you'll probably be able to do most of these skills as well and make these cards in that software. So the first thing you're going to need is the Amiibo card template. This is going to be available on my website. Link is in the description below. Once you have that, this is going to be our final result. This is what we're going for. So that's the back of the card, and that is the front of the card. It's a Super Mario Odyssey themed card with just an overall Mario theme. So of course, the first thing we need is a backdrop. And the best thing about Nintendo is because it is such a large company, all I do to get my images is Google search Super Mario Odyssey map. And just go to the images when it comes up. And this is the image that I'm going to use right here. So it's 1200 by 1200 image, which is really large. And if we view it, there we go, full screen, right click, save it, and now it is on our desktop. We're going to go ahead and drag and drop right onto our canvas and position it where we want. You can stretch it if you want a little bit. I'm going to stretch it so that the Odyssey is prominent in the bottom left-hand corner there. Now the next thing I did on my original card was I put this nice rip here. So it kind of looks like the map was ripped, and behind the map we have what I consider to be the Odyssey ship itself with the stickers on it. So all I did for that was quickly Google search torn page. You'll get a bunch of different torn page images, and I found this one right here. So this one, as you can see, obviously has some white on it. I'm going to rotate it, give it a little bit of a diagonal instead of having it be perfectly perpendicular, stretch it to meet my needs, place it there, and then we'll use the magic wand tool to get rid of the white. First we've got to rasterize that layer. Delete the white on the top as well, and now all we're left with is a shadow of that page. So that is exactly what we are looking for. And now what we want to do is go back to our map layer, take our eraser, rasterize that layer, turn it into a smart object, and just delete all of that, leaving just that torn page and the map that is on the lower portion of that torn map page. So there you go. Now the next thing we did, I wanted a red Mario background. So what I did was type in Super Mario red background. And what comes up is a nice striped red background. It's actually from the Super Mario Run game for mobile. But see that striped background right there? I've got one saved to my desktop already that is just that stripe without anything else on it. So we'll place that on our canvas, stretch it out so that it fits, place it, and move it underneath the map. Alright, so we have a little bit of red right there. We could go ahead and fix that, but our characters are going to be over it, so we're actually going to leave it right now. Now, of course, this is not the same as this one. On this one, we have some stickers back there. So the Odyssey has its stickers on it. So again, all you have to do is search in Google Super Mario Odyssey stickers, and you will get one for every kingdom. And just save them to your computer and throw them onto the background there. So we've got the Mushroom Kingdom. We'll resize that one, reshape it, just slap it on there just like it was slapped on the Odyssey. And we'll do that with all the rest. Alright, so as you can see, some of the stickers that I placed on here have a nice border around them, like Fossil Falls and the Mushroom Kingdom as well as the Steam Gardens, but New Donk City and Toast Arena do not. So they kind of don't all match. So to fix that, we're going to very simply go over to our stickers and New Donk City here. We'll click Stroke on the layer styles, and we're going to go down to Stroke. We're going to make it 10 pixels, and we'll change the color to white. So now it has a 10 pixel stroke around it, making it look like it has that nice border like the rest of those. And we'll do the same over here for the Toast Arena sticker. Alright, so now all our stickers have some kind of a similar theme. The next thing we're going to do is, obviously on my other cards, these are much faded into the background so that they don't overpower the image of the character that you have on the Amiibo card. So we're going to go to the top of all of our stickers, add a new color layer, and we'll go ahead and make this red. And then what we're going to do is, now that's on top, we'll just lower the opacity of all of that. So now we have a nice opaque layer over our stickers, so the stickers are still seen, but they are not the most visible part of the image. So you can even go ahead and make this a little bit darker. Oop, that's not what I wanted to do. Alright, so we'll make this a little bit of a darker red. And if you want to make them even less prominent, you could turn down the opacity on the stickers themselves. So you could turn those down to 75 each, and it'll make them even more opaque and disappear a little bit more. So now that we've got the background finished, the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and add the video game logo. So like I said, I was going to do these as an overall Mario theme, even though the cards themselves have a very strong Odyssey theme, because Amiibos and Mario Odyssey are on the Switch now. So since that's the newest game, I wanted an overall Odyssey theme, but I am going to be using characters that aren't in Odyssey. So I'm just going to use the Super Mario logo itself. So we're going to put that in the top left corner over there. Size it the way we want it. And make sure it's on top of all of our other layers. And then I want to give it a nice stroke around it as well. So again, 10 pixels, and we'll make it white this time as well. And now we have a nice outline around the Super Mario logo to make it stand out. Now on top of that, we're going to go ahead and add another layer, and then we'll take our marquee tool, and I'm just going to go ahead and add a nice rectangle at the bottom of this, and we will go ahead and click fill. Edit, fill, color, white. There we go. Now we've got a filled layer on top of our Super Mario logo. So I'm going to put it on top, but then I'm going to move it below the logo so that it fills in all the gaps. So that little box is going to be where we put the name of the character that we are presenting on this card. So we'll go ahead and type in Wedding Mario for this example. There we have Wedding Mario. Now this is the Super Mario, I believe it's 152 font. 256 font, that way off. But we'll go ahead and put that above the logo and at the very top of all of our layers, and we will resize it exactly where we want it and place that right on there. So now we have our logo, we have the character that's being presented on the card. All that's left to do is throw the character on there himself. So again, same thing, Super Mario Odyssey Wedding Mario official art. You'll get this really high quality, nice image of Mario himself in his iconic tuxedo from the game. And all you gotta do is drag and drop, place them, stretch them onto your card. And as you can see, it's pretty decent quality as well. There's a bunch of images of Mario and all the characters in different qualities. Make sure you get the highest one so that your cards look the best. Now we've got our character on there. As you can see, it's blocking his name a little bit. For me, that's something personally that I like to do. You can, of course, size him a little smaller or move him elsewhere on the card. The name's not the most important part to me. Obviously, I know who the character is just by looking at him. So I like to give him a little bit of a 3D effect by putting him on top of the name layer. And to emphasize that even more, I also like to go in after he's placed and go to drop shadow and add a drop shadow to him. So the way I do it is 25% on the opacity, 90 degrees on the angle of the light, and then the distance I'm going to also do 25. So now it looks like we have a nice light coming in from the top left corner over here, shining down on him, and he's casting a shadow on the background, and that gives it a nice 3D effect. So there you have it. That is the Super Mario Amiibo cards, and that is how I make my Amiibo cards. Alright guys, there you have it, all my secret tips and tricks on how I design my custom Amiibo cards. Now if you want to see how we bring these things to life, join me next week as we go through cutting and assembling the Amiibo cards in part 2 of this 2-part series. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed NINTENDIY and everything I have to offer coming up in the future. Please click that subscribe button down below, and I will see you guys next week. This video is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. Viewers should not use the information contained in this video to engage in illegal activities such as the creation and sale of Amiibo cards. Nintendo is the proper copyright holder for all of its characters and icons.